The Beat 139. Featuring Don Vito and Keith Cash. Harlem's #1 show.
What's up?
What's good?
How y'all doing? Wednesday, another week went by. How you feel today, Doc? What's up, man?
I'm good. Wednesdays, we always love my Wednesdays. Happy for that,
You focused? You good?
Definitely.
Now let's talk about this parade this weekend, right? So we was in the African American Day Parade. We got to talk about this before we start the show. And I'm proud of the team because it was we made a lot of attention. A lot of people who knew about us supported us, and a lot of people that didn't know about us supporting us now because they see how we moved with the parade. And there was a lot of love when we was going up and going down the road, and I feel good that we were able to bring our company through there and represent for Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The African American Day Parade been going on since we were babies. For us to be in that, it's like an honor.
Yeah.
We part of the press team, we part of the committee. We had them on the show, but we came through with the bus. My man Ted came through. He pushed the big homie through there. Yeah. A lot of people ain't know we had a bus.
Okay.
So it was better that we had our bus and not a flow because our bus it's for our kids and our programs, but it's also for marketing and advertising.
Yes.
So when it came down that road,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People was like, oh, the beat is in the building. Right, Doc?
Yeah, they loved it. It was great, man. It touched me a lot because how much love we got. People were so happy to see us. The accomplishment, we worked hard, and we building. So that's always a good thing. Then we did it together, so that made good. Everybody was there. Everybody had a good time.
Well, so listen, we're going to start the show. I just had to bring that out real quick. We got to get our flowers too, My name is Don Vito, Voice for the Peoples.
Doc, shake the block, you know what it is.
And we have a guest in this week. Last week we didn't have one, but this week we have a guest. Guest, can you tell them your name and what you do?
My name is CJ Thomas, I guess Calvin Thomas' official name. And I'm a business owner of a Postnet franchise. I got 6 in the Bronx, one upstate in Rockland, Suffolk County, and I got one down in Virginia Beach.
Wow.
And I'm a retired NYPD police officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You doing your thing, bro. I salute you, man.
Thank you.
For real. Black-owned business, We need more black-owned businesses in our black and brown community. Mm-hmm. I say this all the time. When you look around, you'll see others, and you don't see enough of us.
Yes.
And nothing to do with no racism. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But when you go in their community, you see all of them opening businesses in their communities. But we want to get fly. We want to get cars,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We want to hang out, but we don't want to spend no money. and if you ain't got it yourself,
yes,
you could form a partnership with a group of people and get something together. As long as everything is contractual, you safe.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to see the next man rock. We want to be the only man rock. We want to be a pit and everybody else be down here.
Yeah.
A lot of different ethnic groups, they come up like that. Yep. And then they always say, how they coming to this country and they got all this? You know why? Because they come together.
Yeah.
They put their money together. They even sleep in one apartment for 2-3 years until they save their bread up.
Yeah.
You see, we used to laugh at them. Look, 5 of them in the car. 5 of them in the car, but they stacking that money.
Yes.
They could have been got another car, but nah, we don't need that. Let's hold our bread. And then you know what they do? They open up a Chinese restaurant over here. They open up a Coochie Fritos over here. They open up an African cuisine over here. You know what I'm saying? And then next you know they get one here, then they like you. They start hitting different boroughs, locations.
Yeah.
Then they branch out and go to another state like you. So we're gonna get to your story, right? I had to touch on that because we got to do better as people, as black and brown people.
Yes.
And a guy like you is like a role model to some of the viewers we're gonna have on today, and they probably want to hear your story so they probably can inspire them to want to, because it's always they say it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So tell everybody where you from, how you grew up as a young dude.
Okay, I grew up in Washington Heights. On
Okay, the Heights.
Yeah, 164 Amsterdam to Edgecombe.
Oh, I know the area real well, man.
Yeah. So raised by my moms. Went through the same struggle pretty much as we all know that playbook. The same struggle. the wake, the food stamps, everything growing up, school lunch, the tickets, going that process. So I kind of, grew up that way up there. Went to, local public school, 128, went up to Kennedy High School.
I went to Kennedy.
You went to Kennedy? Okay. Yeah, went to Kennedy.
Yeah,
Y'all probably went there together. Didn't you know?
I went to Kennedy.
Y'all the
man.
same
How old are you?
age?
I'm 54. I went from,
Nah, I was gone.
going?
Yeah, but I went to 52
52, okay.
over there on Dykeman,
Dykeman. My sister April went there.
and then I went to Kennedy.
Went to Kennedy.
I wanted one of the original people open up Kennedy when they had the escalators and elevators and all that.
Okay, I know the elevators was there when I got there and escalators. but
Escalators,
yeah. So it was cool.
Brand new school, kind of like when I went there.
yeah.
So you grew up in Washington Heights. So how was life in Washington Heights? Because you said 164. 164, but they do their thing over there, drug infested, and we gonna keep it real on the show. They doing their thing in that area. So how did you weave your way through that and not get jammed up, or did you ever get jammed up?
No, I never got jammed up in it, but I was in the middle of it. We was all friends, you understand? So I had my group of friends, then you had the other group of friends that
There
was
you
there.
go.
So we just, as we grew up, we just kind of everybody migrated in their direction. So most people went into the game. So especially back then, in '85, '86, when crack hit the game, it was all out there. So it was very enticing. That's easy money. So for some reason, I just didn't go that direction. You understand? So I was 15 and with '85, '86. And, I just said, I didn't want to go that route. And I believe if I'd have went that route, I'd have been a monster in that game too. So, it was a good thing I didn't go that route. Because anything I could do, I'm going to focus on. So I'm 1,000%, I didn't take that route.
Right.
So, I started working, when I went to school, I started packing bags in the supermarket. I did that from 12, 13, delivering newspapers, 14, 15. I was hustling, doing summer youth and whatever I could do. And just as soon as I turned 16, I've been working full time ever since I turned 16 years old.
What was your first job?
Roy Rogers on 46 and 5th.
Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers was rocking back there heavy too.
So how long you worked with Roy Rogers?
I worked in Roy Rogers. So I was 16. I worked there for almost 3 years. So like 2.5, 3 years. I was doing 40 hours a week as I was going to school. So I would leave school and go down there and work full time on a weekend. And at the same time, my same friends I was growing up, we all used to hang out with. So I did the Roy Rogers till I was about 17, till I graduated. Then I got working at shoe store on 34th Street, Coward Shoe Stores, working at Yankee Stadium. I was doing, then I went to UPS. So this is all before.
So you kept a job.
Kept a job. Yeah, my motto was, if I'm awake, I want to be being paid every hour I'm awake. So that was.
Gotcha.
So I just try to work as many hours as I can.
Right.
Moms didn't have it, so if I wasn't getting from her, it was only a couple options. Go that other option.
Gotcha.
I want to go into the street,
Right.
and then I just kind of went that way. And then so how I got to the police, I was always working. I went to college. I was never studying. It wasn't like I was smart. I graduated high school, whatever, like a 68 average, whatever. Just passed.
Yeah.
Went to New York City Tech when I graduated. Went there for 2.5 years. Got graduated high school at 17. Went there for like 2.5 years. So
Student loan.
I was doing a Pell Grant and
Okay.
was it Pell and Pell Grant and I forgot the other they paid for it. So I didn't
But
have
you
to pay
got
with it.
yourself in there.
Got myself in there.
Cool.
So when I was 17, my best friend Pop Dwayne, he was always hustling me working too. So we was working with Rogers together. He was like, "Yo, we should take the police test." We was on the phone talking. I was like, "All right, let's do it." Out of the blue, he tells me this. So he's on the phone. So we're supposed to go to the library and go do this. So I just go walk over to the library, fill out the application, drop in the mail. Forget about it. So whatever, 6 months later, Mom's like, "Oh, you gotta go take the test, whatever." The date of the test, just took it down to Brandeis High School. In
So hold up. So when he said we gonna take the police test, you ain't say nothing. You say, all right. You ain't say y'all ain't had no back and forth stuff and nothing like that.
Nah, we was just on the phone talking.
Cause just to be a police is that's like a heavy situation, man.
Yeah, wasn't even thinking about it. I was just
Okay, I
like,
got
whatever. I didn't even think about it much. So I took the exam. And then because we was going to Virginia, the whole family trip, my mom, so they waited for me downstairs. We jumped in the car, we drove to Virginia. I was 17 at the time when I took the test.
Part of VA.
Gloucester, Virginia, and Virginia Beach. So at that
Okay,
time, we was going
okay.
down to Gloucester.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I stayed working, going to college. I was doing UPS. So when I was 19, I came home. That's when everything was by mail. Mom's like, "Oh, you got a letter in the mail. Came from the police department." I'm like, "Police department? The hell is this?" Kind of forgot. I kind of took the
because
test.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. I open it up. They're like, "Oh, congratulations, you've been called." They called me. I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
I was in the 5th band, so it was 5 bands. I was in the laugh band, and my list number was like 10,257.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? So it was 10. I said, oh, whatever. So I just went with the process. Went to see my investigator. Went through the investigation and background. So this was in I got called in maybe July of August, July of whatever 1990, whatever. So I did all the background, physical, background, the psychological, and the physical. Passed everything by January. So my investigator was like, listen, we'll call you when the next class comes. You pleaded everything. So I'm not thinking nothing. They're going to call me. But how the police department did it.
And what job, I didn't mean to cut you off, what job you was working at the
I was
time?
working at UPS at this time.
Okay.
So I was going to college in the daytime, and then I would leave there and go to do UPS on 43rd Street and 11th Avenue. I was sorting packages and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's been a long time.
Yeah. So I was doing that. So, so how the police department did it? They would just call you the night before, and say, "Listen, you have to show up at 7 a.m. 6 a.m. For this or that,
That's
whatever."
not good.
They give you a notice. Yeah, that's how it was. So
They?
they try to keep you off balance or whatever they do. Understand? Whatever they know, whatever.
You could have been out of town.
Could have been out of
Virginia.
town. Yeah. So, so this is when the Dinkies was doing the hiring. The Safe Street, Safe Cities, they was hiring like 2,000, a lot of cops. So came April, April 29th, came home from work. My mom's like, listen, they said, they called and said, you got to report to Brooklyn College at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, all right, whatever. So go the next morning, go to Brooklyn College. Like back then, it was like 2,000 of us in this auditorium, whatever. The next thing you know, we sitting out filling out paperwork, not knowing what's happening. They swore us in that day and hired us. I didn't even know I was getting hired. Yeah, so then I sworn in, so I withdrew from all my classes, and then I went, to UPS, and I said, listen, I gotta, quit, because they told us not to quit our jobs. I left there, they tried to talk me into it, said being a driver. I said, nah, I gotta take this route. It's a little, think a little more financially stable.
Right.
So they hired me when I was 20 years old, and went to the academy in April 1991 at 20 years old. Yeah.
So did your friend, did he get called?
He didn't even take the test. He didn't even put the application in.
Wow.
He never put it in?
He didn't put the
Y'all wanted that.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
He didn't even put the application in. We
He
talk
led
about it all
you
the
there.
time.
But you know what, though? Let me tell you something. Sometimes that's how God works, man. We laughing, right?
Yeah.
But me, because I'm real spiritual, I think and analyze things more than I just jump into things now. Because some things, you got to figure out how it makes sense. So maybe God guided him to lead you to do that, and it wasn't meant for him to take it. But the only way you'll get to take it is through him doing that.
Yeah, if
you
you
know
would
what
have
I'm
never
saying?
told me, I wouldn't have.
Things like that work, man, with the universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
believe in that.
That
yeah.
was your calling, but you wouldn't have did it on your own. So God chose your man to get you there, and then he slid back. He had another calling.
Yeah.
But he wanted to get you in there, but continue.
Yep. So So I joined the police force at 20, not knowing nothing. No police officer in the family. Unfortunately, never been arrested. I did some dumb things, but never did anything with drugs or robberies, anything that I was growing up. So I went to the academy, did that for 6 months, passed that, no issues or nothing. And then they signed me to the Bronx, the 40 precinct in the Bronx.
Rough one off the rip.
Yeah.
But they call that Fort Apache, yeah. 40th is Fort Apache. And back then, they was hot back then. The lands, Drew Man and all that. Hunts Point was hard back then.
Hunts Point was the 4-1. That's more Fort Apache, the Bronx.
Yeah.
The 4-1 precinct.
But I'm just saying all that prostitution.
Oh, yeah.
Back then it was
yeah.
big, because I used to be up there. They had the strip clubs going on back then and all that. It was a lot of crime in the Bronx back then.
Yeah. Bronx is heavy. Yeah. The city was a totally different place back then in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yes,
nothing
it was.
compared to now. I know people think it's violent now, but nothing compared to what y'all grew up in, we all grew up in.
Yeah.
So they signed you to the Bronx because you lived in Manhattan?
Yeah, because I lived in Manhattan, I guess, yeah.
So they got a police station right across the street. 164 right over there to the 165th.
Yeah,
It's a police station right
Yeah,
there.
you can't live and work in the same precinct. You can't do
Right.
that. So that's probably why they sent me
They
over
did
there.
that, yeah.
But you were at the Bronx,
it's right
so we
there.
can go all the way to
Between
Brooklyn.
Audubon and
Yeah,
Amsterdam.
instead of traveling to Brooklyn, I don't want to travel to Brooklyn. It's a distance. I went to college in Brooklyn, though. So I did that travel, New York City Tech. Yeah.
So when you went to the 40th precinct, so how was it when you went there?
The 4-8. When I got there, and You know, it was just 10 of us brand new. You know, it was just, you know, like a culture shock. You know, I'm meeting all new people. I've never been around this many different cultures at the time. You know, especially being around different white people like that, which is within the hood all my time. Most of the time was just in school. So, you know, you should start to develop relationships and things. So, you know, I'm a person, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it all the way hard. And I really don't, I think it through and I'm okay with all the consequences. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go hard and do this. You understand? Any job I had, anyway, I wanted to be the best at that job anyway. So when I was flipping burgers, I was knocking it out. UPS, whatever I was doing, I was always doing my max at it. You know, so I didn't I never look at it as what compensation am I getting at the moment. I know my compensation is going to come if I'm maxing out doing it the right way. So let's say the universe, you know, pays you back in certain ways.
Correct.
So I got there, and then, you know, they put us out on foot posts. You know, they say, hey, every day you start on a foot post. So I got there. I started in November 1991. Yep, and I was 20 years old, so just out there walking foot posts, solo foot posts in the Bronx. You know, seeing, you get to see everything from the inside there. So I'm young, and I'm learning. And another quick story. So when I was 20, one day they was like, I'm still like a month to in. They called me in from uniform. They called me with the post. So they grabbed me because the PMD, like the guys, the PMD is the unit that goes and enforces like bars and things like that, prostitution. So they wanted to raid a bar, but they needed somebody underage to go in there and buy some liquor. So they pulled me to go buy a Heineken.
Undercover.
Undercover, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just it, but that's only undercover work. I didn't want to do no undercover. When I was going to the academy, some high-ranking narcotics officials kept trying to recruit me to be undercover officer. I said, nah, I didn't want to do that. I said, because I want to deal with somebody, I want to know them dealing with me. I would never feel comfortable doing the undercover thing.
So they want you to be undercover because you black.
Yeah.
So you can blend in.
Black, young, and all that stuff.
You know what I'm saying? And back then in them days, it wasn't that many black officers. Wasn't like it was that many black firemen. You know what I'm saying? It was the Irish, you know, a bunch of Irish, bunch of Italians, and you know some other, you know, or Caucasian officers, and a few of us in those.
Yes, it's very few.
You know what I'm saying?
There. Yeah, very few.
So they probably want to pick you, black guy, young. They ain't gonna know that you know. They not gonna recognize you. You're gonna think you one of them, and then they use it, but you wasn't going for it.
Nah, I was going. I said, nah, I don't want to do it. Want no part of it. You know. Yeah. So I went back to the street, and I said, listen, I'm gonna learn the street. So I already had a certain. So I got to teach you more. The cop world, it's all different type of cops, you know, in the world. You understand? So I want to learn how to be a cop, just like it's all different. So let's look at it from the street world. You know, it's all different people from the street. Some might be real street dudes, some may not be. Right. But when you get into that world of a lot of cops like that, they really don't know what's going on when people really doing these major crimes. So all you to figure out, you really got to get out, you got to study, you got to learn. You understand it? You know what people's doing what. So that's where I took the craft when I was watching the boys I grew up with, you know, because I was going to academy. I used to take the bus on 161 to Amsterdam. I used to have to get out there like 4 or 5 in the morning because I had to be at academy at 7. The same people we were playing ball with, hanging out with, they sitting in the lawn chairs like this with their pockets like that.
Yeah.
With 200 vials in it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it was all cool. It was never no issues. So I got a good eye to learn from the street. So when I got out there, so, you know, I got a partner. Me and came out together. He was 21. I was 20. In 1992, they gave us, you know, gun, a car. We drive around on the street answering calls. Yeah. And we just kind of learn and develop. And I took it from what I was doing. So a lot of let's just say the black cops that was there was some couple good ones, but they was more solo. But I kind of took it to a more respectable level because they respected what I was bringing to the table as an individual. Not that I would never go abuse anybody, not abusing, not taking advantage of anybody, but we play this game of cat and mouse. When I catch you, I'm gonna catch you the right way. And they just saw how I kind of operate. And I just kept growing. And my level of status just grew and grew. And I took it to a high level in that precinct. You understand? So, and I spent my whole time on patrol there. I didn't want to go to the detective squad. I didn't want to do anything. So, like I said, I started doing the sector patrol and day tours, just answering jobs. You know.
No sergeant stuff.
No sergeant's tests.
So you stayed a regular officer all the way through.
Regular officer all the way through.
But you still get like your seniority as time go by, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
So what type of cop you consider yourself? Like, what you think the people who probably ran across you, would they say, oh, he was like an asshole, or he was cool, or he's fair? what you think how they perceive you?
All right, let me best put it this way. They really, it was a very mutual respect that went both ways. You understand? Now, this might sound crazy to you, so I would come across all the people I would deal with that arrest and not arrest in off-duty situations. You understand? So there was always respect. You know, so I was never shaved anything I have done to anybody. You understand? So I would never, I wasn't doing anybody wrong. But if I caught you dirty, then you was gonna go. You understand? But I didn't deal with the nonsense, the bullshit. You understand? Like trespass. There's a lot of nonsense arrests that you pick on a week. You understand? So if that shot fired job came over, that robbery at gunpoint, whatever that shooting, whatever it is, we rolling hard. You better know how to get away because we coming. You better know what you're doing. You better know your exit route because I know this precinct better than you. You understand? Once we get that complaint and we get that victim, we coming hard. Now if we catch you, we catch you. Get away, you get away. That is, we do everything in the same day. Then we just do the reports. If we don't catch you, it goes to the detective squad. But back to the point you're saying, I've seen guys in bars, they would send me over a drink, they would come, we'd talk, we'd politic.
Okay.
Right back to the thing, but see you right back in the street, we right back at it.
Okay.
Again, so we just.
So pretty much, you wasn't a dirty cop, but you did your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
How many years you spent?
20 years, 8 months.
Oh, you did 20, you out.
20 and out, yep, did 20 and out.
Because you could have stayed longer.
Could have stayed longer. So, yeah. So I got into a fight now. I had shoulder surgery. So my last year I got out, so I had, what was it, year 17 when I had got into a fight and I dislocated my shoulder. I had to put 5 pins in. Then
With somebody in the street or
on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, and
on duty.
On duty. Yeah. So it was in a courthouse, whatever. So I did it twice. So the first time we saw the guy just made a sale, whatever. Boom. So I jumped out, grabbed him. So we grabbed him, whatever. So my partner had like the crackhead, whatever, got that. So I'm trying to figure out where he put it at. But I was holding his belt. So what happened was he took off running with my arm. My shoulder popped out. You understand? So I was holding him. So I was holding his arm. So I was holding the other hand. So we had to fight with him, wrestling. Right. So most of the time when people fight with you, they're not trying to fight with you to really hurt you.
Trying to get away.
Fight to get away. So you fight more to try to subdue them. You understand? So. And that's when the first time it popped out. I went, had surgery, and they put the 5 pins into it. And then I re-injured it again. And I said, when I re-injured it again, I said, it's time for me to go. Yeah.
That shoulder don't heal right the second time around.
No.
If you ain't got no shoulder, you feel weak.
Yeah, you feel
because you can't really get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was your plan? Because you're young. You only been there almost 21 years. You're young. What was your plan? You had a plan right before you retired, or you just winged it?
No, so I was always trying to figure out a way. I knew I always wanted to be independent, work for myself. So even when I was working in the police department, I did as much overtime as I could, work all the hours. But I said, I got to get in something. So I kept hearing everybody in the police department buying houses. I'm like, saving $20,000. I'm like, how the hell are you saving $20,000? I wasn't making much money, and I'm saying to myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to save 20 grand to be able to buy a house, whatever. So I started reading up books, about how to get a house, and just came across some book calling sheets. Long story short, so I just started going around looking at houses. Came across a foreclosure company that bought and sell homes, and they showed me some houses. Say you can get a house with $2,000 or $3,000 down. I didn't do it, but I was like, hey, you know what? I want to work here and show houses. So when I was off from the cop, I would go there and I would show properties for them. So that's kind of like how I got my first house. Got my first house through them because as soon as I got there, they had a foreclosure house they needed to sell.
And it's in New York, right?
It's right in the Bronx, right in Morris Park. And so I was like, I'll buy the house. But I said, you know what? Let my mom's buy the house. So she was still living in the hood on 164th. So she came. We got a nice property up on in Northeast Bronx, up on Allerton. And she just went and looked. They made the deal happen in like 3-4 weeks. She got the house. And my mom's and my
First time home buyer?
First time home buyer. My mom's sister, they moved in there. And they stayed there. And so I just stayed there working, doing the property, trying to, along with what you're saying, I wanted to figure out another way to make more money because I didn't like being capped at a certain amount of salary.
Right.
So when she got the house, she went there, worked there for 2 years. Then she said she wanted to move to Virginia. So that's all right. So she moved to Virginia. I bought the house from her, and I've been in that house property ever since. So back to what you're saying. So how I transitioned to that, doing the real estate, I came across some land. So I bought some land, and
In Virginia.
no, it was in the Bronx. It was right next to the house I had.
Okay.
So the city had a little property, had a big lot. I subdivided the lot, and then I was going to build properties there.
How much the land cost back then?
Got the house was like 225, 230. Yeah.
You put down what?
But no, I put down $5,000 for my mom to get the property, like between 4,000 and 5,000. That was back in like '99.
But you said you bought some land.
So the land was 17,000. It was a little triangle. So what happened is that triangle connected the land that I already had.
Right.
So the property had a huge lot. So that little triangle I bought from the city for $17,000 allowed my property to be subdivided into lots.
Right.
So I took one lot into 3 lots. So those other 2 lots is when I was going to start the build. And this is just before the market crashed, and I was dealing with the builder and this and that, and he was like he was a shady builder, this and that. So he wanted to buy the property. So I said, you know what, let me just sell a lot. So it made me a nice offer for the lots. And then I said, let's do it, So my attorney was kind of pissed. He wanted me to kind of go for more money. He didn't like the builder. So we had the closing table. He's like, no, I'm recommending you not to sign. You got to sign like this. And so I'm telling him, I said, nah, let me sign it. Let me get this cash. This cash is right here for me to grab. Let me get it. You understand?
Your lawyer telling you no.
Telling me no, because he want to push it further.
Because he get more.
You know,
The more he get, the more he get.
He felt you could have got more.
He thought I could have got more because the builder started work already on the land before we even closed. So he said we knew we had him in a bind. But I wasn't really twisting, he wanted to like force some more to give more money. I said, nah, let's just close. Good thing is that, because what happened that was the market crashed and he really couldn't sell the properties like he wanted.
Yeah.
You understand? So it was around 2008. So the value of when he thought he could sell the properties for, he couldn't. So he sold me the land. He built the houses. And then he couldn't do nothing with it. So he ended up losing those houses for foreclosure. That would have been me losing it. You understand? So that money I took, I know how I was at that time mentally. I wasn't financially responsible. I said I got to put this money somewhere in assets. You understand? Because if I leave it sitting around bank accounts, it's a wrap. So I bought another house, and that's why I was looking at franchises online. Never went to business school, know anything about business. I just called up, put my name in it. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So all of that stuff you was doing, right? So we're going to explain to the viewers, right? Because I'm thinking this the whole time. They ain't had credit scores and all that back then.
They had credit.
And in 90?
He said 99.
You said 99.
Yeah, 99.
I thought he said 90.
I got hired in 90.
Huh?
In 90?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't have no credit. They had no credit in 1990, man.
Yeah, they had.
No, they didn't. Nah, we was you ain't had the money. You ain't had the money. They didn't start the credit bureaus and all that till later.
You talk about what we used to do.
They didn't have no credit back then, man. That happened. We gonna look that up. Yeah, but did they have credit scores like they had TransUnion, Experian, all them was back then?
Yeah.
In 1990? Well, I guess I'll get so much money, I ain't give a fuck back then. You know what I'm saying? At the rubber band credit score. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, so
My bad.
So I started looking at the franchises. So I came across a franchise Postnet. I'm like, seemed interesting. It wasn't dealing with food. I didn't have to have large inventory. Didn't seem like I was training. It was just UPS, FedEx, and things like that, and printing. I didn't know nothing about it. I put my name there. The guy called me up the next day. We spoke on the phone for about an hour or so.
This guy here got a lot of luck, man.
Yeah.
All these things you ain't doing it open, bam. You know what I'm
So
saying?
we talked.
Everything just clicking for him, right?
Yeah.
Yo, we'll leave it. Can we play the lotto together, man? I use my money, man. I just need you next to me, man. This guy here, he's a stroke of luck everywhere. But go ahead, man. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, so we spoke on the phone, and I'm like, nah, it sounds good. He sent me like a FDD. You got to read through it. And I got it. I didn't really tell you the truth. I didn't read it. I just felt good about the situation. So I had to have that for 2 weeks before we can go further to the next step. Because I want to go out there and visit some of the Postnet franchises.
And where this located was that?
They was out in Denver. So their headquarters is in Denver. I was living in the Bronx. So I flew out there. I brought a $17,000 check because that was half the franchise fee for me to sign the agreement. He said, bring it just in case. I said, I bring it, I ring off. So I went out there, met with him. They liked me. They approved it. They did run my credit because they had to do a credit background. Ran my financial, so I had some funds to make sure to do it. And I just said, let's do it. So I just, we signed an agreement, and then they took over from there and kind of made it turnkey. So all I had to do was just find a location. So my first location was they connected me with a realtor. We drove around. He drove me right over to 149th in the Grand Concourse. Y'all know, right? It used to be a gas station there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they knocked the gas station down. They built the commercials. So now you have Popeyes, Burger King.
Yep.
I have a Postnet location there. So I was one of the first tenants when he did that. So I found the location. They helped negotiate the lease. I had to agree to it, whatever. Agreed to the lease. Then they went in. They had the contractor do the build out. I paid them their fee. And then next thing you know, they built the stuff out. And then they sent somebody in and I just opened the doors and just.
All right, so let's do it like this now. So now we got to the story, right? So tell the viewers what's the name of your company,
Postnet.
right? And this is what he talking about, how he got into building it's a franchise?
Franchise, yes.
All right, so he got into, first he opened his first location. Now he has a franchise, but it's called Postnet. So tell everybody what Postnet is about.
So Postnet is a shipping and print company. We're able to do all the carriers, FedEx, UPS, and DHL. So we are a full-time print. We do full service printing. So that means through banners, business cards, flyers, backdrop banners, anything with ink on paper, cloth materials, we're able to do it, produce it at a very small scale, a very high scale. You understand? On top of that, we have access to computers, scanning, notary.
Where you get that idea from, man?
It's a franchise idea. So I just follow their motto.
I get it.
Okay.
So you
So
bought into the franchise.
Bought into a franchise.
The franchise was already established. Postnet.
Yes.
And you put $17,000 and bought into it.
Yeah. No, it cost me more like 100, and at that time it was like 120,000, 130,000. Yeah. So actually, total came out the total with me, the lease and everything about 150, 160, and that was all the money I took from the land deal that I closed on that. So yeah, and so we do all those service. So I got the first store open in I signed an agreement in 2007. We found a location in 2007, and they did the whole build out February 25th, 2008. That's when we opened the doors the first time. So I was still on the job then. I was still doing the police work. So I had 3 years left. So I would work there in the morning and then leave and go to precinct because I was doing 4 to 12s at the time. So I was still on patrol even in the 17th year on the job.
So you shipped out, right? All the different distributors, right?
Yeah. So UPS, FedEx. So our screen pops up. UPS, FedEx, DHL.
Right.
We do domestic, we do international, we do overnight.
So it's shipping and receiving?
Shipping and receiving. We have mailbox customers that we receive packages for also.
Right. Then now you're doing the print work, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing the computers, you're doing it all.
Yep, trying to cover it all. Yep.
So Postnet, man.
Yeah.
He's Kevin Copy before Kevin Copy.
Yeah.
So
But Kev ain't doing all that though. Nah.
Postnet, now your first year. So I know. So you said 17,000 cash you put. The rest you obviously credit something, right?
Nah, it was all self-funded. So I took the money from the land deal. So the 17,000 was initial down payment for me to sign an agreement with them. That was half the franchise fee. So the franchise fee was around 39,000. So had to pay the other 39,000. Then I had to pay a build-out fee, was about 89,000, 90,000. So that put me somewhere around whatever 130, 120. Then you have other fees. Your first, second month of the lease. The electrical wiring. Little things like that to get the store built out.
So wow.
Yeah.
So
when you buy into a franchise, I thought they build it out.
that's what I'm about to ask.
Yeah, they did build it out.
Because everything got to be under their model, right?
Yeah, but
They got to have the store set up the same way.
you got to pay for it.
Right.
So I had to pay them to build it out.
I got you. Okay.
So I paid them, and then they did the build out, and it was like turnkey. So I just went to open it up, and I just started to try to follow their model.
I don't know why. I don't recognize Postnet, man.
I was
49th and Concourse, right there by the
Now I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying in general. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I probably been by it 100 times and don't recall it, cause y'all do a lot of stuff there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
A lot
saying?
of stuff. Yeah. So I was the first location in the Bronx. Prior to that, it was just it was 2 stores in Manhattan. They both closed. Like a year or 2 after.
Only in Manhattan?
Only in Manhattan.
Downtown.
Downtown. Yeah. So they
Okay.
wanted. They
That's
kinda
probably
go-
why.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it wasn't really. It was no Postnets in the Bronx, so it wasn't even on the East Coast really.
Not uptown Harlem, none
Yeah,
of that.
because
Yeah.
when I was looking at the franchise, I wanted something different that wasn't already there. So it's kind of like led me to that also.
Yeah, because everybody else burnt everything else out.
Yeah. So yeah. So I did the first store for 8 years. So but the first 2-3 years, it was a struggle. You know, the market crashed right around after 2008. Not many people coming in. Wasn't make much money. Borrow from Peter, pay Paul, juggling, whatever. I was just too naive to give it up. And I don't, I try to really control me getting anxiety, getting stressed, getting upset. So I just said, what it is gonna be, it's gonna be. I can handle it, whatever, mentally, I started this game broke, so I wasn't never afraid of going back broke. I'm not afraid of going back being broke now.
But you still had a job at the time, too.
Yeah, so I had a job at the time. So, but you still got the rent. I got machine costs, got expenses, got some payroll for the staff. They still got to get paid. Supplies, they still got to get overhead.
Heavy.
You still got to be paid. So probably between the 3 and 5 year mark, that's when I really started to get the curve working. We started to make money. I said, oh wow, this is pretty good. Worked it out. So did it for 8 years. Years 6, 7, and 8 was making money. Came across a location. One of the guys I work with was like, yo, there's a location in Parkchester. So we went over to Parkchester, looked at it. Opened a location number 2. That was in the 2016.
You got a bank loan?
Nah, self-funded again.
Yeah.
You can't get it's hard to get money from banks. It's hard. I mean, now I can because I'm over 20 years in the game.
Right.
And, I got
20
some
years,
collateral,
man.
So
Yeah.
you start out,
20 years, man. Great, man. 20 years, man. Come on, that's a long time.
Thank you.
That ain't 2 years, that's 20 years, man.
Dope.
Yeah.
And
so
you stuck with it.
stuck with it, yeah.
Even when
You said
days
the
you
first
felt like
3 years
getting
was
out.
tough.
Yeah, it was tough the first 3 years.
Most businesses that take 2 years
Yeah.
to take 2 years to make it. I had a unisex beauty salon in the Bronx on 3rd Avenue. And the first 2 years, man, I wasn't getting no money.
Yeah, getting
But my employees was getting the money. But I just had to keep the lights on because I was like you. I ain't letting this go, man.
Ain't letting it go.
I got to hold. I'm gonna stick with this. But I wasn't making no money. And they was making. I'm watching them make money. I kept the lights on and everything. The water, all I took care of all that. But I wasn't getting no money. And then the 3rd year, here it come.
Here it come, yeah.
It started coming crazy.
So I can tell you the most important thing with any business is being successful. The people who make money know it. It all comes down to customer service. You
Correct.
understand?
That's
what makes or breaks a business. It doesn't matter how good your product, your food,
Customer
what
service.
it is.
Customer service
Yeah.
very important.
That's why all the top-notch brands is all 5-star service when you go see them.
Yes.
Because they understand the value of that.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't understand the value, and we think, as a matter of fact, you want it, you're just gonna pay for it. You don't care
You
what
don't
type of
work like
attitude.
that.
No,
You
Customer
don't work like
service.
we all know.
Yes.
From the post office, DMV, we see that all the time.
From
Yeah,
going in a
yeah,
restaurant and you sit down, you don't look at the menu, and you realize that I've been sitting there 15 minutes, ain't nobody come over and ask me I want no ice.
Nothing.
No water, no
Yeah.
nothing. I'm like, I gotta call them and come to the table. That's a deal breaker for me.
And that
You saw me,
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know what I mean? Come on, man.
That's what kills our business when we
Yeah.
open it. We think just because we open it, they're just gonna come.
Nah, they not.
If they feel uncomfortable walking in your place, they're not gonna come. You gotta have positive mental attitude with a pleasant energy about.
One more thing that you didn't mention, because I was a business owner before. You gotta have money put aside for marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Yeah,
You gotta market and advertise. And advertising costs a lot of money, man. Because you could be there, but people don't know you're there. So, and back then they didn't have social media like right. You could post this and post that.
they ain't have
You had to go hand in hand.
I just got a family.
You had to
call.
figure it out.
I just got a family call. CJ, won't you tell them about the Undercover Boss?
Oh, yeah.
He was doing the Undercover Boss, and the other franchise that you're about to open up in.
Okay.
Now we're gonna get in.
We get into that. We coming up.
We coming up.
Yeah, we don't want to jump into
Yeah.
it. It's gonna come as we go through the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just finished getting all the story about the Postnet and how you went from one to many.
Yeah.
But
So I should have put that on.
so
the site.
being that was just mentioned, so how many stores do you have currently?
I have 8 Postnet locations.
Right, and where they located?
So I got 6 in the Bronx, 149th in the Grand Concourse. Number 2 is in Parkchester behind Macy's. Number 3 is on Fordham Road, Fordham Plaza, right near 3rd and Washington.
Right.
Number 4 is up on Allerton, right near Eastchester and Fenton. Then number 5 is right near Katona Park on the other side. You come out to go through the tennis courts on Katona Park East. So
Right.
that's number 5. And number 6 is on White Plains Road, just south of Pelham Parkway
Right.
on White Plains Road.
What about the one in Virginia?
The other one in Virginia, that's in Virginia Beach.
Right.
Yeah, it's on Kemps River Drive. So they opened that one in 2022. And then I took over a store that wasn't doing well up in Suffolk County. So I'm still trying to build that one up. So that one is eating up some bread. It's up there in Suffolk County.
Reason why I asked you about the one in Virginia, right? Because all of the ones you just mentioned, right? They're all in New York.
Yeah.
Or in not just the city, but New York State. So you went to Virginia. They don't know nothing about that. So how do you attract the people to come and be your customers? Being that like Postnet. What the hell is a Postnet?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen one of those around here before. How'd you get them in there? How'd you win that?
It just starts one customer at a time. You know, you do it's the word of mouth marketing. Like it's having that good customer service where, I just want to drop this package off. Oh yeah, let me give you a receipt or everything good. Whatever, you just have natural good energy and make them a welcoming environment and just start slow. This business we're in starts slow. We open, there's no customers in the beginning because it's a need-based business. It's not like an impulse buy. You either got to mail something or you don't. You either need a passport picture, you don't. It's all need-based. So people's got to know what want to come to us when they need the services. So it's just a slow grind. But once you get that steady base of customers, you can build a steady income, and you can build off your, I call it generic business, where just people wake up every day and need certain services.
Correct.
You understand? But then how you even expand more, you try to get to the printing side of services, where you do the business cards, flyers, banners, you kind of build that way. So my sister wanted to get part of it. My sister April wanted to get a part of it in Virginia because she had retired also. And so I said, all right, yeah, let's do it, So we just went and did it. We found out, found a location, and we just kind of built it out. We just did it. So
your sister, your partner in Virginia's location.
Yeah.
So, all your locations doing well?
No, I got three I'm working on that's not doing well. Yep, but the other 5 are, doing what they're supposed to. But it's always a struggle because you're always trying to build more. So it's more sometimes it can be self-inflicted wounds. If you don't have the right staff there,
Correct.
they're not treating. You understand? I mean, you understand it kind of
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You had a team with you.
Right.
You have a team. They got to have that same energy. So
Right.
you got to work at it. Nothing is a switch. You understand?
Yeah.
So the store I took over in Suffering, it was already a struggling store, but I got it for a great deal, so I'm just trying to see if I can get it going, if I can.
So now you said you got 8 stores, 3 that's struggling. So what would you tell the people out there normally in a situation like that? If, let's say, an opportunity open up in Harlem, would you take it, or you try to make sure you get these stores up and running before you take on
Yeah. Before I take on the next one, I'm open the 9th, but before I'm gonna do the 9th. But when I say like struggling, they just not doing the numbers I want. You understand? So I'm not gonna take on another one. If I get an opportunity, I get calls, a lot of calls often. Hey, you want to do this? At this location, come look at it. But I'm not taking no more opportunities until we get these 3 stores. Mainly
to where you want it.
To where I want it.
So now you got FedEx, you got UPS, right? You got the post office. You got them. They heavy uptown. They heavy everywhere. You do half of your business does what they do, pretty much, shipping and receiving. So does that block some of the business you could have got?
So when I opened in the Bronx, there was no UPS stores, no FedEx stores in the Bronx.
Okay.
They totally neglected the whole area.
Right.
You understand? So there was none there.
Right.
So that's another reason I came here. So I came here to provide a service to underserved community that wasn't already here.
Okay.
You understand? So you go to Manhattan, they got
Did your demographics?
Yeah, they got over 50 each UPS and FedEx office. Those will be my main competitors.
Right.
So now they're trying to open up now in the Bronx. Now, you understand, because they see the numbers we kind of generated. You understand? And they want to get a piece of it. So it's like 2 UPS stores in the Bronx now. I know it's definitely 1 FedEx. They started in Riverdale, but they trying to make their way more south. So,
Right.
but I'm comfortable. We already got a staple. We got a good bond with the community. We've been since 2008. We've been doing it. So
Yeah, it's a while.
Yeah, so we get a steady flow of customers every day. They appreciate it because we give them opportunity even just to drop their packages off. They just want to copy.
Yeah.
Nobody got printers at home no more.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
yeah.
you need,
I do. But hear me out. So if a person wanted to buy into your franchise, how they go about that?
They get connected with they got the sales reps from the HQ. you call up and you speak to them and they'll walk you through the whole process for A to Z or whatever it take to get it open. Yeah.
So when you open up another location, do you look for partners?
No, I don't look for any partners right at the moment.
Like you took your sister as a partner.
Yeah, I took my sister as a partner. Yeah.
You got any other partners in your other locations?
Nah, no other partners. So yeah, she's with me on this. She's running it down there, but I'm still everything's still under me.
Right, I got you.
She's on top of everything down there. You understand? Yeah.
So why'd you pick VA? You felt it was a need in that area that they didn't was
one was
underserved?
a need, and we you want to be in the business world. You want to be in the game. You want to try to be an entrepreneur. You understand? So you want to just try to make things happen. You know. So and she was living down there. My mom's living down there. My other sister's living down there in that part of Virginia. That Chesapeake, Virginia Beach area.
Tidewater.
That's Crystal. Right?
Your Tidewater.
Yeah, Crystal. Yep.
It's the Tidewater. I lived down there for a long time.
Yeah. So that's what we kind of did it. And what Ted was talking about. So when I first opened the one on Grand Concourse, this one had one location. They called me. They used to call me and say, "Listen, they want to do a quick little phone interview." Because I was a young black entrepreneur. That was even kind of big with the Postnet franchise. How I kind of grew with them. So they said, "Oh, they want to interview, ask some questions." So they get on the phone, they ask me questions, certain things. But it's just kind of odd questions, But I'm like, all right, just answering. They said, "Listen, I can speak to some of your people on your team." So he spoke to my cousin who was working with me at the time. And
We have a call.
Let's take this caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you from?
This is Tracy from New York.
How you doing?
Good. I know CJ. He's my cousin. Tell him to talk to you about his new business that he's opening up in Virginia.
Now we ain't get to that yet. He right now getting you just where you at right now?
we going to tell him about the Undercover Boss.
That's what. Yeah, we ain't get to that yet. That's
Okay.
towards the end.
Yeah, we getting the whole story. Trust and believe. Before he leave, we gonna get it all out of him.
All right then.
All right. Thank you for calling, though.
Okay.
All right. You got supporters, brother.
Yeah, that's
Fam,
good,
that's
good,
love.
yeah.
So let's get into that.
Yeah, so they called and they were like, the interview. They listen. Then they said, "Can we come interview you in person?" I'm like, "Sure." So they came. They set up a little small setup like this with cameras, and they got us on cameras. They were interviewing us. So this time it was my nephew Vaughn there, and not my cousin. So my cousin did the phone interview that they liked, Sean, and then my nephew Vaughn is working with me in the store. At the time they did the actual physical interviews with the camera. So they came. They was like, "All right, cool." So then they came back. They said, "Listen, we want to do a little pilot. We had a pilot TV show. We want a guy to just come work with my nephew Vaughn in the store to see how he does packing and shipping, whatever, And which turns out, so they called, they came, they set the cameras up all over the store. They never told me anything. And my dad was like, "This got to be Undercover Boss." I said, "Nah, Dad, they wouldn't bring the Undercover Boss. I know the guy from the, I see him all the time when I go to the conventions." I said, "I would know who he is." Sure enough, they had a little trailer set up. They walked him in, and my nephew went in the back. So I didn't really get eye contact with him. I guess they waited till I walk out, went next door to 7-Eleven, whatever, and I came back. So they in the back doing whatever, and I look, and we hear him make eye contact. So he gave me that damn headlights I used to see on the street look. I go, "Oh shit, I know who this is." So I didn't want to blow it up, so I didn't say nothing. I just let my nephew go. So they did the whole show of Undercover Boss. It was pretty cool. So they did that. Then they flew him out to Denver, and it was a really good episode.
Hold up. I always thought that they tell a boss and on it, and employees don't know.
Nah, they didn't tell me anything. Nope.
Because I watch it all the time, and the boss seem like he in on it and be like, "Yeah, I want to make sure."
Nah, they don't tell nobody, man.
Nah,
he down low.
Nope, they ain't tell nobody.
No, because how the boss don't know if they put all type of disguise on it. He had to know.
No, he knew, but from the location that they go to, they didn't tell anybody. So I own a franchise here in New York, but the guy who owns the Postnet brand at the time,
okay, I got it. That's what I'm wondering, because I watch you all the time. Cause I'm like, the boss had to be in on it, because he had to disguise, and he had to ask certain questions. He had to act like he don't know nothing.
They showed him doing
the makeup.
They showed him doing the makeup and everything.
Yeah, remember the guy saw the guy actually couldn't cook. He was clumsy. So it was him. Okay, I got you.
So the guy who owned the Postnet franchise brand, who sells the franchise. I was a franchisee, So, yep. So I didn't know anything. They was coming to my store to film it with him. They were just using, my nephew. My nephew was in the Marines, and he was over in Iraq War. So he had just came back. So that was a big episode, they talked a lot about that. That was the #1 rated, highest rated Undercover Boss show.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's
gotta
big.
go watch
That's
that.
big.
What episode was that? I'm like, what's the title where we can, how can we
Oh,
find
Postnet,
it?
Undercover Bronx, Postnet.
Undercover Bronx Postnet. I
Yeah.
gotta watch that.
Postnet,
Tonight.
yeah. Yep.
So what's this other venture they said another big thing you got going on there?
Yeah. So like you said, things happen by chance, as you say. So
Mm-hmm.
as I was doing we got all the stores open, so we got all those. So I was trying to get my buddy of mine who's retiring also. I'm trying to get him into a franchise. So he says, listen, come with me to this franchise event in Jersey. It's one of the small stadiums they got. I forgot which one it is. And so you're having a fair franchise in. So I go with him. So there's this other franchise there. So I'm just going with him to get him into it. I'm not looking to open up anything else.
Yeah, because you said you already got 3 you're trying to pick up.
Yeah, at the time I just opened those, so they were still doing okay, you know. Just more recently, in the last 6 months, they took a dive south. They're not doing the numbers they should be doing. But we're going to get them back. You know, you just got to work at it. You got to stay focused. So we go to this franchise event for a bunch of franchises, new franchises. So all kind of stuff. So we walk around, it's a vendor fair. We speaking to them. So this one, I just purchased a building down in Portsmouth, Virginia. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to put one Postnet there, and the other side was a barbershop. So I was going to keep the barbershop and do a Postnet. So I'm walking around. So I'm trying to sell myself as I sell him. Mm-hmm. So came across this franchise called Meltwich, and it's out of Canada. Mm-hmm. It's none in the United States right now. But they got like 46, 50 franchises up in Canada. And their main thing, I don't know if you heard, they do like cheese melt sandwiches, burgers. Yeah, but you ever heard of poutine? Right. It's French fries. It's disco fries is what we know about it. Mm-hmm. But it's French fries with gravy and cheese curds. It's like really good. So they kind of specialize in that. Right. So we spoke. So I said, well, sounds interesting. But my partner wasn't interested. But he didn't really want to do no franchise. But this guy kept calling me. Hey, listen, because I kind of sold myself as an interest. I wasn't really interested. Right, so I said, let me hear this guy. Let me hear him out. Yeah. I hear him out. I'm like, oh, wow, this is pretty good. And by chance, I said, you know what? I could put one of these in Virginia. Mm-hmm. So, because I had an extra spot. So I went up to Canada, met him. He drove me around to like 8 different Meltwood locations. I looked at them all. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, wow, this is what I want to, so I can do this. So I said, let's do it. So same thing. So we did it. So we found, we're going to put it in the building down there. So right now, we've just been going through the whole permit pricing. So, but this time we're going to do, they have 2 models. They have like the small model, like just a regular fast food place, or they have a model you can do like an Applebee's or Fridays. Mm-hmm. Sit down. So we're doing Applebee's with the Fridays, a full bar, you do a restaurant side in the back, and we got like 48 seats. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be in Portsmouth, Virginia. I don't know if you're familiar with the area, but right across.
Yeah. I know them. That was my whole area.
So when you went to Canada, you saw the reaction that the food with the cheese and the customers, you asked them.
Yeah. We went to every restaurant. We eat something different every restaurant.
And it was so good.
Yeah, me and him, we spent the whole day together. So I got to know him. He got to know me. We spoke about anything. I asked him all the questions. He asked all the questions about me. And we kind of built out. So I'm trying to bring that brand down to the north.
So this is downtown Portsmouth?
Yeah, right on High Street.
Right over the bridge.
Yeah, right over the bridge. Yeah. Right in downtown Smallfield.
Yeah.
So once you open that up, you're gonna see how it is. Then bring it more down here.
Bring it up to the Bronx. Yep. So once I get that one going, because this could be my first time I'm dealing with food. This could be my first time dealing with a liquor license and all that stuff. So I pretty much got my permits there. I'm at the last stage. Hire attorney. He pretty much got my liquor license ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Cause the liquor license tough to get.
Yeah, it's tough to get, but you just got to
get his background is pretty good. He'll get it.
Yeah. So
his background is good.
Yeah, you just got to get the right people on the team. So, it's got the right person on my team, he emailed me today and doing so. We got everything ready to go.
You still can carry?
I can carry in all 50 states.
Right, so if he can carry, he can get a liquor license all day. Yeah. He's an ex-cop. You know what I mean? His background is good. Liquor license is about your background, and then can you afford it? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And an attorney. And he got all that covered, so he's good.
Yeah.
So when is this store in Virginia going to open?
Hopefully we should have it open by the end of the year. Hopefully, it's been a long process. It's dealing with the architect and the permits. It is what it is. I don't like to ever point anything as something being negative, because the universe is going to make you work at it. If you don't put work, you're not going to get none out.
That's
what
right.
you put in is what you put out. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we feel like everything's just supposed to happen when we want it to happen. You have to do stuff unknown of the outcome.
It's a process.
Yep, with the outcome, you know, so, you know, I'm just going through the process. I'm still going to have bumps in the road, so hopefully by the end of the year. So we're in the final stage. Permits in the final stages. I got the contractor ready to go. I got all my paperwork ready for the liquor license. So it's just, you know, I paid for the furniture that's going to go on the front. So now I just got to get all equipment paid for. I got to get the construction stuff, paid for. So, you know, it's a total gut job. We're going to get it to vanilla shell, and then we're going to build out. So, yep.
So it's going to be like your marketing plan on that.
The marketing plan, we're going to do after the build out, you're going to do a soft opening. You know, just soft opening, we're not really marketing because you want to get your processes
It'll
down
be like
right.
a tasting.
Yeah, you do a tasting. I'm going to give away a bunch, marketing, we give away a bunch of free fries, you know, the poutine.
Yeah, you hang stuff out there, let them know you're here,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
little
there,
banners and all that.
But
People going to be like, what's that and all that stuff, you
With
know.
a full marketing campaign going to go in, and we're going to do the social media. You know, we're going to do, you know, the street, giving away the free food on the street, you know, like the tasting, you know, like Costco's and BJ's do, kind of down that line. And, you know, just do some events, you know, networking events in the area. Let them know we're there. Get on Uber Eats. Get on Grubhub. Get on all those venues. You know, some nice graphics. It's different food. It's something they, you know, they ain't used to, something, you know. And just kind of build it out that way. But the main thing is just make sure the customer service right. And you got the right
That's
team.
very important.
You know.
So I heard you say you're gonna bring it to the Bronx. So I hear you like really connected to the Bronx, and you from Manhattan. Is it a cost thing, far as the cost of, like, far as Manhattan? You know, you paying like triple the amount in rent. That's the reason why you sticking to the Bronx.
Two reasons. One, I grew up in Manhattan. Manhattan was a love, but you know, when I moved to the Bronx, when I got, you know, I was never in the Bronx, so I got hired in the police department. I started working in the Bronx. So I got to love the Bronx because I was on the streets every day of the Bronx. You know, so then I moved there and I just, you know, adapted more to the Bronx. You know, but Manhattan is the home. But you're right, the rent is crazy in Manhattan.
Yeah, it is, because that's why I opened up my barber shop in the Bronx, because of the rent.
Yeah.
It was too high uptown. I wanted to get uptown too. I was like, nah. And then I had 1,800 square feet, and I had a nice, and the rent wasn't that bad too. And it was big. I had like 22 chairs, man.
22 chairs.
I wouldn't have got that in Harlem. Man. Yeah, 22 chairs.
Nah, you wouldn't have got that.
That wasn't, you crazy? I had a big store, unisex beauty salon. Most than everybody else had the hole in the wall joint. I had the big joint. You know what I'm saying? I put the neon lights on there, customer galore, unisex beauty salon. So you can't miss it because the neon lights is on. But you know what? What I did that was a cool thing, because I wasn't making the money, man. I had to make a move.
Yeah, that's why.
I got involved with the Black Expo.
Okay.
In the Black Expo on 37th Street.
Yeah.
They got an office. They still over there. Over there with Strivers Road, Black Expo is right there.
How'd that work out?
Worked out good. They got me to Jacob Javits Center,
Nice.
and I did some service in the Jacob Javits Center. I had to bring like 3 or 4 of my stations down. I got a U-Haul truck. I brought 2 nail techs, 2 of my best barbers, 2 of my best beauticians, and all you had to do was play for the water and electricity. And then I had the stations brought down there in the U-Haul, and we set up, put banners up. And it was crazy. That's the first time I got on TV and cable TV, because dude, like, who's the proprietor of this place? I'm like, me. They threw the light on me. They put the mic in front of me. And at this time, I ain't really comfortable with that, because Doc's still in the street a little bit. I'm like, oh. And they interviewed me right there. That's when I made money. That's when I got known. Before that, I didn't make no money. Man, it was like a club, man. I came in there one day, it's like, yo, V, you got to come up here. Came up there. I said, oh, shit. Like, to get inside, you had to do like going in the club, man. It was packed. Just from doing that promotional thing down there. You know what I'm saying? But, so if you want to give like any helpful tips to people, young entrepreneurs, that's watching, older people who got some money, just got retired and want to go in business, could you give them some tips on, how to start off?
First, you got to start off, and you gotta have that. This is something I want to do. You gotta have that mentality to say, listen, I'm fine with doing it, and you have to force yourself almost to the point to say, you forcing yourself to fail at something. You gotta keep going, which you'll never fail because you learn so much. You just gotta have a positive mental attitude, and what we try to do, we always got to say we got to have these ducks lined up in a row before I take that next step. You have to keep stepping off each cliff, no matter what it is, where you can't come back. And you force yourself into certain scenarios because you want it. You know what I'm saying? And you just you got to build yourself to really want something. You know, like as I started all these ventures, I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, what I was going to do. I just said, well, let me just go ahead and do it. You know, so
took a leap of faith.
Leap of faith. Yeah, it's a mindset. You know, not saying I was born with the mindset. I was just fortunate and lucky to, you know, be able to, you know, have control of my mind and just go ahead.
That's
and
called a
just
leap
do it.
of faith.
Leap of faith.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
had faith. You believed in what you were doing. You had faith that you can do it, and you wasn't giving up.
Yeah, give up. Yeah, and I don't give up any. You know, whatever I do, I'm gonna do hard. You understand? I'm
Self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught.
That's what I'm reading all this stuff from you, man.
Yeah, just like now, I never owned a bar before. Never did anything with food. But I went on the line, I had to take the whole food safety course, study, passed it, you know, go get my health permit. So whatever, never done it before. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Spend a lot of time down there, figure out how to run a bar, you know, watch some videos. Everything's on YouTube now.
Right.
But it's more. We put blocks in our mind. You know, that's what slows us down. You understand?
Right.
And once we start putting the blocks in our mind to keep us from doing something, you know, we can start to accomplish more stuff. You know, we are great. We have courage in so many other ways of life. You know what I'm saying? We could stand up in so many different ways in life. It's just that we just got to figure out how to take that same courage and way we stand up. We can have situations. We don't care what the consequences is. We're going to take a stand up, 10 toes down, whatever. We're going to do it. You need to just apply some of that sometimes other ways in entrepreneur ways.
Y'all hear this?
And goals and things like that. That's what kind of help you use that same, you know, you'll get the results you want. You just got to stay with it. You know, it's okay for things not to go your way. You know how many times I take L's?
Right. Everything is a process too.
It's a process.
And people got more negative courage. Courage than they have positive courage. You know what I'm saying? Like when they doing something negative, their courage is all the way up. But when they trying to do something positive, they have a lack of courage. And you got to reverse that.
Yeah.
So I got my last two questions for you. One, where's your friend, the one who got you started? Y'all still friends, and how your mother feel about it? I know she's proud.
Yeah, my mom's extremely proud, you know, because, you know, she loves it. I'm happy for her. You know, my mom's and my dad, they're both real close, you know, so they both happy. I love that they love to go and have talks and conversation with their peers, and, you know, always good to talk about your kids when they're doing something in a good direction, you know.
Yeah.
And not just because I got a business, just any kid, the way you're going in a good direction.
There's
They
three of
like
y'all,
it.
right?
No, it's 5 of us.
Oh, 5, okay.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
heard you say 2.
Yeah, yeah, you guys
2
got-
of your sisters and you.
Yeah. And she got more adopted kids, so it's a long list. She has a bunch of kids.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, so
Right.
can't, but yeah. So you said my mom's with
And
the,
your
the
friend, the one
yeah.
who-
So unfortunate, you know. So I'm not gonna say his name, but he's my boy. I spoke to him this morning, and he called me from Rikers Islands this morning.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
But he's still my man. We talk. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gonna be getting out of there soon. You understand? But he went down. You know, he got into an addiction problem. You understand? You know, it started with weed. You know, and then just went and took a course of his own. You know, he was working. He was, you know, he had a good, steady, decent job, this and that, for a lot of years. Me and him the same age. You know, so I was 20 in that. He was 20 in another job. Because we started working together. We packed bags together. We worked Roy Rogers together. You understand? We worked Howard Shoe Store together. Everywhere we was always doing it. You understand? So, but you know, he just got caught up in addiction and disease. He just took him under control, and he didn't get caught with nothing serious. I don't know what the case is. I can't talk to him on the phone.
Right.
You know, it's something with him trying to get something. You know how these undercovers do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Steering.
He could have been steering with an undercover or
yeah,
something. You know,
yeah.
got caught up with a. You know. So
Did he actually take that test?
He said no.
he didn't take it.
See, that was his calling, and he didn't take it. If he'd have took that test with you, and y'all both would have became police officers,
Yep.
he probably had a different, his life probably went different. Yeah, he went the wrong way. Instead of going to the right, he went to the left. You went to the right, and that's how y'all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, that's still my brother. Like I say, he called me this morning, and we talked for a little bit before I got started.
He could bounce back. Anybody could bounce back. I know that for a fact. I know I've been down several times. I done got up and down all my life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know my story, bro.
Yeah.
And I know other people's stories who went up and down, you know? That's why, and God tells you, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly.
As long as you got God in your life, you can always make it, man. And I preach this all the time. It's like real talk, you know. But you also have a support system too. You know what I'm saying? You need some friends, you need some family to cheer you on. They can't do the work for you, but they can cheer you on. You got to do the work, you know.
You got to do the work. Yeah.
Yeah. So God bless the brother, you know.
Yeah, and like I say, hopefully he should be good. Like hopefully he gets in a program. I think he told me he's gonna go to a program, gonna do a program for like a year. He does that, and all of it goes away. So you just gotta get his mind right and try to stay clean. And then like I said, man, we'll be back hanging out, whatever, whatever, all good. But yeah, so that's where he's at, and we're going forward with that.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So 5 years. So they always say you got to have an exit strategy too. You understand? So
Correct.
So I'm looking at I got to start planning my exit strategy probably somewhere around another year or two. Even though I might be in the game for another 5 years or so, but somewhere between the next 5 to 10 years, I want to get my exit strategy where I'm no longer doing full-time day-to-day anything. You understand? So
make money while you sleep.
Yeah, so that's it. So if it's me selling the businesses where I'm the bank and I give the notes, or whatever, or that way, or just giving full operational control over and giving somebody a percentage of the business where I'm still, hold a certain percentage of that way. But I got to start to get my exit strategy to see how I want to operate that way. So, another 5-6 years looking to fall back. So right now, my mind is always going, not in a negative way, because you're supposed to be working. You're supposed to be always trying to figure something out.
You're in control of a lot, man. So when you work for yourself, as we all know right here, you work 7 days, man. And it's not always physical, but it's definitely mental. Because you got to stay on top of everything. And just because you got lawyers and accountants, you got to stay on top of them. Because they can rob you.
Yeah, they can rob
you. You got to stay on top of everybody.
And you got to be able to make the decisions. Like they can't make decisions for you.
That's right.
I tell anybody get into the business, I'm going to tell you right now, don't let your accountants, your attorneys, your lawyers, none of them make your decisions for you, because they always making safe decisions. They make like parent decisions. Right. You got to make the entrepreneur decisions.
Correct.
You the one that got to say, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. You take their advice.
Right.
And you just go ahead and you do what you need to do. But no,
they all work for you.
Yeah.
So you got to make the decision.
They're going to make the safe decision. You understand? I'm on the phone, I'm talking with a bank, like say I can't get bank loans. So I was trying to finance, all the construction for the project down there. It's a high number we was talking about, and they say, listen, hey, you can definitely get approved. They got me speaking with the underwriter. The broker got me doing a deal. But I said, I had to turn it down. Actually, it's like for $1.3 million, the deal was for. But I had to turn it down because they wanted me to tie too much personal guarantees to it. So they wanted all my businesses tied to it. They wanted too many of my properties tied to it. I said, I'm not tying everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna self-fund this another way. I'll find a way. I don't know where I'm gonna get the money from now, but I got to go out and figure it out.
Right.
You understand? So my accountant would have probably told me, no, go ahead and do it. My attorney said, take the safe route. They wanted the interest rate. It was just too much. It's too much. Nah, I'll figure it out.
Right.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, do you do any give backs or community work?
Yeah, I do community work. I got a couple of people, like my coach David grew up with. I'm always giving back through him to the community, through him. And then the community comes in, there certain events, they would need certain things. I see what I can do, print a banner here for Co-op City Little League football, do things like that, print banners and do things. So I try to do more that way, where I kind of give back, where I'm not trying to come up with too much, cash flow. But whatever I can do, I'm always willing to support and help with the way I can. But, I like to help people who like to help themselves first. So, I don't like people try to pick and choose. I'm not talking about business, not for profit. I'm talking about anybody that's trying to build themselves up. You feel you got a low, all right, I'll help you build up. That's why I just tell my best friend, partner, Dwayne, I don't even say his name, but
Yeah. It's cool.
you understand?
They don't know the last name, so it could be anybody.
Yeah.
That's a common name.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, I was talking to him, he just called me and we on the phone, and if he's from the island, he's like, give me the hardship. I said, it's cool. I said, understand. I said, I have a total understanding, but don't ask me to have empathy right now. You understand? You were just MIA, all this stuff you're going through. I didn't get it. I can't. If you want to live that life, I understand. But let's not do empathy right now for a need you want. You understand? I understand you need whatever you need for some money on your books, but don't do it through empathy. You understand? You can't pick and choose your help. I tried to help you before. You rejected it, which I'm not mad at you because you're a grown man. But right now you can't just say, help me because you want to pick and choose your help.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be a give and take on both.
Yes, sir.
You understand? It's not, convenient for you. Then once this program is over, then you back. You still my brother. You're still family. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to have hard conversations. I'm okay with having hard conversations, because I know as long as it's coming from the place. But he understood,
Yeah.
You never talk down on people.
Right.
Never.
Because it could be you.
It could be you.
It could be me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We could be down and out a year from now. You never know.
Never
what
know.
could happen.
Yeah, things happen fast.
Yeah.
You never
I
know.
mean,
Yeah.
I always use the Mike Tyson story, man. Mike Tyson came in fast,
Yeah, he
and then he
top
went
of the world.
fast.
Yeah,
And then now he back up because he received the supporting team that needed around him. You know what I'm saying? And then he started getting real deals, real contracts, real stuff, and he was in control. Now he learned from his mistake, so he's more hands-on and control, like you just said, of what he's doing, instead of letting everybody else do it and listen to them. And now he's back up. So it can happen.
And people don't realize sometimes how much you learn from taking an L. Because if you really analyze it and say, not for you to get anger and say, I need to take advantage back from me taking this, you learn from the mistakes, what you had control over and what you can do different. I learned so much.
But they say you learn from what you do wrong, not from what you do right. All the time.
Yep.
You learn from the mistakes you make, man.
Yep.
And you gotta, but the whole thing is like, you're a faith-driven person. Like, once you put your mind to something, you're not letting up off it. That's faith, and that's belief in yourself, and that you can accomplish it. Because a lot of stuff that you're doing right now, I don't see no schooling behind this, man. This is all self-taught and research, and and determination, the will to win. And I salute you, bro, for real, man. I salute you.
I'll give you my educational background right now. Like I said, I went to Kennedy High School. I graduated like a 67, 68 average. Well, just made it. You understand? Just got out, went to college. I was in my sixth semester at New York City Technical College when they called me for the police academy. You know how many credits I had? I had 32 credits. My six semesters. I kept taking remedials over and over.
Trying to learn it.
Yeah, but I just wasn't applying myself. It's nothing to do with the education. Education helps, you understand? But so it ain't like just like at the police job. I scored a 73 on the police exam.
Yeah, because you said you're 10,000.
10,257 was my list number.
That's
I just made the fifth man. I just made it.
Everything you just made it. But look at the man you are now. You see what I'm saying? And be honest with you.
Nah, no kids yet. I'm looking to have some kids, but not yet. That's a whole nother subject we start getting.
We'll start all that. But to be honest with you, man, I'm sure a lot of people who listen to the show learn a lot, man, because this story hit different, Yeah, this story hits different, and
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I like this story. This is cool. This is a good. I like good stories, man. That turns into
Hello, caller. You on the beat 139?
success.
Hey, good evening. How you doing? So I was looking at the show and I was just calling in to say that what I got from listening to you guys on tonight was mindset. And you have to have a positive mindset and to push forward to do the things that you want to do. And I also wanted to say that I was encouraged because I've been procrastinating on some ideas and things that I have written down for myself, things that, like a friend of mine just called me last week and said, girl, why aren't you doing these things? I just wanted to say thank you for coming on the show, talking about your life, what you're doing, and what you're pushing forward to do. Because when you said you were in the Postnet business and now you're doing something totally different that you've never done before, it's given me the encouragement to move forward in the things that I know that I can do. And I just wanted to say thank you and blessings on your new business.
Appreciate that. And you stay strong on whatever you decide to do.
Thank you for calling, caller.
Appreciate your call.
And I like
Appreciate
what
you
that
listening
young
and
lady said right
subscribing.
there. What she said right there was powerful, because like I said, this story is your story, but you can inspire others, man. You just said, you took a lot of L's.
Yeah, I did.
You learned from mistakes, but you kept pushing. And one store turned into two turned into three, now you got 8, and then you venturing off into something else.
Yep.
You know, so that's cool, man.
And while I was always able to get a paycheck, you know, it's kind of what I learned early on. Like my basketball coach, Coach Dave, he's always like have us working. You know, like we're not practicing. He got us cleaning parks, all kind of stuff. I don't know.
Right.
He was good at convincing. So I had a little work ethic, you know. So when I got my first job, real job, Roy Rogers, it's not real job, real paycheck job.
Right.
You know, first day they send me in, 46th and 5th, like a fight down into the basement. They take me to a room. They like this whole room full of garbage from all day. I don't know, could have been over the weekend because the garbage truck come. They's like, oh, you got to take all the garbage out. Strap my stuff up, just take 2 bags. I probably did 40, 50 trips. Jumped in the room, hose it down, mopped it.
Yeah.
But I just said, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be the best at it.
Yeah, because a lot of people probably would have been like, this is.
You understand?
I don't
But-
know about this.
But I went from, so my point, the point I'm getting to, I went from just being the garbage guy at Roy
You got
Rogers
another
to,
caller.
oh,
Let's see what they say. Hold on to that
Caller, you
thought.
on the beat 139?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to let my brother know that he is doing an amazing job and to continue to inspire the Bronx and continue to leave his gems everywhere he go. He is an amazing man. I'm glad he was able to share his story, share our story as a family and where we come from, and inspire and encourage everybody all over the world that's listening. So CJ, salute to you. Thank you for constantly inspiring me and the squad, and we love you. And
too, Chris.
yeah, this was a great show. So shout out to you guys.
Thank you for calling. We appreciate
calling
you.
and subscribing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So what you were saying? That thought?
yeah, so I didn't know this at the time was a plan. So I said, you know what? I went from just, you know, doing the garbage to basically running at Roy Rogers. What I mean, I learned that. I learned all the backs. And so I'm coming in doing whatever I want at a high level there. So, you know, just to do what I want there. But I would always stay high first. So, oh, wow. Say, oh, love me, the manager and everything. So the general manager, long story short, we there, a new manager, night manager comes. So I work always at night because I was going after school. She had her 2 brothers that just started. So they come in, they supposed to do the trash. My steady station is the chicken. I got the chicken.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you got to go do the trash. It's like, nah, those days are over, man. You know?
You stepping it up.
You know, I did my time.
Right.
So she's like, we don't do it, you're getting fired. I'm like, all right, I understand. So I left that night.
There you go.
I went home, went to school.
Yeah.
Come home, my mom said the general manager kept calling all day for me to show up to work that night.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then went back, got my job back that same night. She comes, she's like, what is he doing here?
Yeah.
She goes, listen, get in my office. And that was it. She never said another word to me again.
Right.
And I applied it there. When I went to Coward Shoe Store, I did the same thing. You know, they begged me, you know, I reorganized their whole stock room. It was amazing. It was never that organized. Me and my boy Pop, I keep saying this.
That's all right. They don't know the
said
last
different
name.
name the first time.
They don't know the last name. It's all right.
He said different than the first
That's the love you still got for him. Yeah.
We worked there, you know, he's like, yo, let's do right. Boom, boom, boom. We knock it out. Anybody will call for a job, I can get him a job there. So, you know, did that. Did it do there, went to UPS, same thing, boom, 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 boom. They begged me not to leave to go to the police department. So I said, oh, you know what? When I get to the police department, let me do this. So I went from a young 20-year-old black kid just walking the footballs in the precinct to when I got to my lady isn't there, I'm calling the shots on any scene
Right.
that's happened that I'm on.
Yeah.
The detectives, whoever they come, yo, CJ, what you got? What we doing? What we working with? Just all mutual respect. Not that I'm giving orders, but
Right.
what I say I'm gonna go because they respected, you know, the way I handle myself now.
Right.
You know, I was a real street cop. You understand? I knew any and everything that's going on all corners. I knew who was doing what, this and that. You know, I knew all the stuff. You understand? So they would kind of come to me all the time. You know, it's like I said, it was a mutual respect. We knew the game. I knew all the players of the game. I even see them now. You understand? They retired. I retired. I ran
Yeah.
Giovanni's. I kept running into.
Yeah.
You know, we politic or whatever. But my point saying is, you put that work in, you're gonna get the results you want.
Correct.
In the same way, when I apply with Postnet, you understand? I'm the top franchisee in the Postnet system. You understand? I got more stores than anybody else of any other Postnet.
Okay, come on. Okay.
You know, so, yeah, they love me, respect me. They love my pen. I'm on their board and everything else. I just keep going. I don't.
So y'all do banners and all stuff like this?
Banners and all that stuff.
Tell you why you ain't never said that. We can go could have seen my man Postnet, man. You talking about going on 25th Street, man?
Because I don't do a lot of marketing with the family. I just kind of leave it at that. I don't always like talk it up, So and I don't like talk about. I usually don't talk to myself about myself too much like that. Just we can use this in a positive way. Else I wouldn't even be bringing up most of these stories. I don't like when I'm with my close friends. We talk all the stuff about all the war stories, all the things we do, and all that stuff. Because I've been at high level. You name it with the police department. Anything I've done it. From the craziest high-speed chases, hostage situations, all kind of chases. The only thing I just never find my gun, which is good. I never wanted to, but other than that, done it all.
But that was your calling, man. Everything you did is your calling in life. Now you're a entrepreneur. You're employing families.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're growing and you're growing and growing. Like your sister called and said she's proud of you. I'm sure a lot of other people proud of you also, Yeah. So can you give everybody your social media links before we go?
This was going to be crazy. I'm not even on no social media.
Well, what's your website?
Website is postnet.com, /Bronx. So you just post that Bronx, you get all my locations.
Yeah, because you're right, you're not on it, because I look for, when I put up his flyer, I was trying to find him on so I could tag him, and I ain't seen none, so you're right. But you got the website.
Yeah, I got the website.
Website.
All my stores got the website.
So if you ever need some social media stuff, you can call me, man. I do heavy marketing, man. I'm nice with it, man.
Yeah, you nice with the Instagram?
Yeah, all you got to do is check every night. I'm nice with everything. All you got to do is check my workout.
Okay.
I do all the work for the Beat 139. 95.5%. Then we got, a young lady who came in with us and she's helping us out. But I do it because just like you, he knows I got a passion for that, for our show, for our brand. And being that I started doing it, like a lot of people don't have the vision. We can get somebody else to do it, but they don't have the vision we have. They don't have the feeling we have. So when they put it up, it ain't gonna make sense the way it need to make sense. Yeah, see, it's a chemistry when you market and you advertise. You can't just put stuff up for the sake of it. Like he hit me today. I put up a promo video of all of us, me, Ted, Keith, and Doc, because we're very familiar and cool with the Mayor Eric Adams.
Yeah.
So I said we endorse him. So I put up a video, but he hit me back. Yo, that was the perfect music to put with it. You see, you can't just. I couldn't put it like a Black Rob Woe track in there because it's not that type of language with it.
We have suits on.
Right, you gotta have, and not just the suits though. And when you say you endorse something, you don't have nothing like that. You gotta have something that goes with the suits, like he's saying, and with the language that I wrote. So I always think, but that's a skill set, man.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, I keep saying I'm gonna give me an Instagram or get something, but I just never do it. But yeah. So, but there's one more thing I want to say too before we wrap this up. I don't want to give the impression that all I did was just work. Trust me, I hung out as much as probably anybody else. You understand? So you got to work hard, you play hard. You got to have fun. I never neglected any of that stuff.
Balance, all balance.
So I done did all kind of traveling throughout this whole process.
Yeah. You live too.
Yeah. So I don't want to think, I just did that, go home and sleep. No. Anybody that know me.
You pop a couple bottles here and there.
Yeah, everybody know. Yeah. Ted see me.
So also after this, you have a post interview with Keith. What we do here, we have like a post interview after you leave.
Okay.
It's for a few minutes. I know
like 3 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 minutes maximum.
So definitely. Also, people, we'll be back with a forum. It's gonna be a quick forum tonight, so don't leave. Come back. We'll be back with you.
All right. Appreciate the invite.
So before you go, can you tell them what's the #1 podcast show in Harlem, my guy?
The Beat 139.
You're listening to The Beat 139. Harlem's #1 podcast. Featuring Doc, Don Vito, and Keith Cash.